Hey guys, Frank here, your virtual general aviation aviator, and today I am going to jump back into the sim. I guess this would be step three, installing aircraft. So the first thing I want to do is get the sim started and just let you see what aircraft I've got already loaded. Boy, it's nice to have it load so quickly. But that is primarily because there are no plugins to slow it down. There are not a lot of extra files that it has to load due to plugins, and I also have it on a SSD drive. That combination. But anyway, so these, as you know, I fly almost strictly general aviation, and so I've got one, two, three, four, five, six general aviation aircraft available, and the only one that I tend to fly outside of the third party aviation, the third party aircraft would be the Cessna Skyhawk and the Skyhawk 1000. Anyway, I digress. Let's get started. So I'm gonna close up here, main menu, quit, and again, what we want to do is install our our aircraft. Now, most of this aircraft I've, I've got inside my data, my explain data folder. So yeah, it looks like for the most part, I am going to have to get most of my aircraft from the website from which I bought them from. So let's do that. Um, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to install two aircraft at a time. Let's see. So let's go ahead and start our browser. Uh, would help if I click on the right thing. Okay. And where I want to go is to explain.org and that store. And of course, I need to log in. I do have a password saver that should log me in without revealing my password. Okay, so I've got both of these files, and I don't think I need both of them. Version 1.3 is the one I'm going to try and use, so I'm going to drop that into extra aircraft also. Okay, so let's start X-plane backup, and let's see if we got them both in there. Now, the Carenado version, if it's in there, won't work unless I put the serial number in. STMA version, I don't think use the serial number. Now, you notice that they're not here, but they actually are. Remember, I dropped them in the extra aircraft folder, and that is a special folder for X-Plane. So in order to see what's behind that folder, I do have to check off this button here, and there we go. So we got our PC-12s, and we actually got two versions of the PC-12 from STMA, um, and each version does beta a little differently. and I should have the Carenado version. Okay, so let's go ahead and configure our, let's go ahead and start a PC-12 version so we can build a profile. All right, and there is an auto updater that comes with the PC-12 that's developed by STMA. So there may be some updates to the PC-12 that should come in eventually. Okay, so the PC-12 has loaded and looks like I've got some information. Let's see, the pointers and bearings for now 1 and now 2. Okay, so these are some of the updates that have happened over a period of time. And I'm at version 3.10. Reload aircraft updates have been downloaded. Okay. But before let's see, looks like I'm going to have to reload in order to get the updates, or in order to get rid of that message. Okay, so all right, so what I anticipate is not having my throttles set up correctly, because this one uses a condition where the condition is working. I think it's based on the mixture data ref, a data reference. And let's see, let's just start this guy up. This one I have to use battery 1 and 2. And make sure our beacon light is turned on. Alpha yoke is working. And let's go ahead and start it. 1001, 1002. Get rid of that. Close the door. Cabin door is closed. We have 13% NG, so we can add some fuel. ITT always peak in this aircraft, but it always come down immediately. And I'm over 52% on NG, so I got a good start, and I can turn on the generators and the avionics. Okay, looking good. Looking good. And so this aircraft looks like it's ready to fly. All right. And let's jump to the Carenado version. So I got the Carenado version installed, and I just activated it. And as you guys know, one of the things that I love so much about the Carenado version is the way it looks. It's just a beautifully modeled aircraft. Okay, if only the STMA version looked physically this good and sounded this good, then it would be an awesome, awesome aircraft. Look how crisp and beautifully textured that is. One could only wish. Anyway, let's shut this guy down. Condition level. Some of the sounds that are featured in this aircraft are not realistic at all. Okay, so rather than doing the same thing with every aircraft, let's say what I'm going to focus on is one or two more, just because they may be different. Let's see. So the the which aircraft do I have that is different? Let me go out and look. So as you can see, I've downloaded a few aircraft, but I have not installed them yet. And again, installing them is just as simple as unzipping them and dragging them to the folder, to the aircraft folder. Now, couple things that I do want to, that I think is noteworthy. And let me drag this over so that I can go here and to the aircraft folder, is when I do drag them over, I know that there are some aircraft companies that I want to create specific folders for. And I'm going to create those now, since I know what they are. And they are going to be, I'm going to create a new folder for for Thronder, for the Thronder aircraft. And I'm going to write aircraft here. On a new folder for my Airbus aircraft. And let's see, who else who I might not want to put in extra aircraft. Some aircraft manufacturers, like the L4 Labs, Cessna from X Aviation, will create its own folder. Upon installation, it actually comes with an installer. Um, but um, but yeah, so let's just open up the Throttle Beaver so that you can see the whole process. Extract. Now there are two ways I can do it. Normally, what I do is I just let it extract to wherever it wants to extract to. But another way that I could do it is tell it where I want it to extract to. Drive X, not this PC, and drive X. You guys see drive X yet? Too many drives on this PC. X-plane aircraft and Throttle aircraft. And I could um, let it install there, extract, and hopefully it would be under Throttle aircraft, and then another subfolder called Throttle underscore DHC2 Beaver. At least that's the hope. Let's uh, let's go out and take a look and make sure that what we think is happening is in fact what's happening. Aircraft, Throttle aircraft, and Throttle 2H. Yep, so it's did what I wanted to do. The other thing I want to do is go ahead and launch this guy so that you can see how the installer works. Of course, this would be a no-brainer because you just launch it and it does the work for you. You just tell it where X-Plane is at, and I still got the version on drive C, but remember the whole purpose of this is to move it to this drive X. And now I got drive X / X-Plane 11 and let it install there. I accept the terms on the EULA, enable X-Plane integration and enable automatic updates, and let that run, and it's finished. So just hit next and set up shortcuts, current user only. I could have just I didn't have to do what I just did. Looks like I'm getting some traffic on some of my videos. I'm going to check those later. Let this finish running. And next. And quit. Okay. And let's look in the folder. Let's see. In the aircraft folder. And the installer actually put the C152, the C172. Looks like they may have put it in extra aircraft. I don't see it though. Do you? Don't see it. I'm pretty sure. At least I think we finished installing it. So let's launch X-Plane and see if we see it. Okay, so I don't see the L4 Labs version. And I thought there was something else that I installed. Was it? It must have been the Beaver. Yep, I believe it was the Beaver. So I do have the Beaver installed. The throttles for the Beaver is different from the throttles for the 172 and the PC-12. So let's go ahead and launch the Beaver, and let's see. Let's just pick a livery. So oddly enough, the F the L4 Labs product manager found some of the aircraft that I own, or at least found the C172, and I guess it doesn't know that I own the King Air, but it's giving me not the ability to go ahead and activate the C172 Beaver activation serial number. Okay, so hold on, let me go and get that. Okay, so after putting in the Beaver activation, then it activated just fine as expected. All right, so inst okay, so now I am outside of X-Plane and I'm gonna tell it to install X-Plane um, not from not from the X-Plane system, but from the Windows desktop system. Okay, so I think it's finally installing the C172. Okay, so I'm at 97% done on this install, and it says it's finished. So what's next? Okay, release notes, missing panel elements. I guess those were some of the things that were fixed and various updates. Close. Okay, so looks like I can quit now. And if I look at aircraft, now I've got L4 laps and it has my C172. So it put it there for me. All right, so I still want to open up X-Plane and make sure that I've got the throttle quadrant set up for the Beaver because the Beaver, like I said, uses the mixture and the 172 does not. So let's let this get opened up. Okay, so this is the Beaver we got, and let's back out a little bit so we can see. It's too far. What we got here, and let's see what's working. Looks like everything is working. Okay, now on my alpha yoke, this is the prop, this is the throttle, and this is the mixture. Yep, so that's working. So I guess I really don't have anything to do here. And let's fire it up. I do know that my PC-12 has beta and reverse thrust. So I guess we can load those up. Fuel valve open. Let's get rid of this guy here. Wobble up some fuel pressure and prime it about 5 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, mixture. And crack the throttle just barely. And feather the prop, unfeather the prop. Okay, max on both. Fuel tank front, master, and prop clear. Clear prop. And we got a good start. Yeah, it was that one. Okay, so yeah, let's go ahead and kill the gas to this bad boy. Shut our fuel off. And shut this guy, close that, and turn off everything. And let's get our PC-12. Doesn't look like I've got, I didn't see anything off the bat that I need to do to the throttle and mixture uh, as far as the Bravo yoke is concerned. But like I said, the Honeywell, uh, the Honeywell, the, the Honeywell powers the PC-12 displays. That's cockpit. So I'm gonna go ahead and load that up. All right, so now we've got the PC-12, and let's get this started again. Get rid of, let's close the door, get rid of the internal stuff. Let's go up here and we'll turn on battery 1 and 2 and hold this for a couple seconds. 1001, 1002. NGs are coming up. We want to introduce fuel when it get up to about 12.5%. Prop is coming alive. We introduce fuel now. ITT is coming up and it will peak. I don't think this is realistic for it to peak like this, but I don't know. But fortunately she comes right down. And NGs are over 52%. We got a good start. All right, generators can come on. Avionics can come on. Inertia separator come on, and environmental control systems can go to auto. And other than a pusher test, everything looks okay. Test this, and I love the light test, but I'm not gonna go through stuff. All right, so let's go here, and we at the Bravo, and actually let's go back here and let's go into, let's see if beta is already set up. All right, so that's low idle, and I'm not getting any beta. All right, so let's go here. Let's get a user profile, and we're going to save it as a new one, and we'll call it AFL PC-12 because it has beta. And now we'll drop our throttles down into beta range. And we only have one throttle. So that's going to be 9. And when we go into 9, we want to toggle the beta. So we're going to search for beta and toggle beta prop number 1. We only got one prop. And now let's drop it down into beta. See what happens. And I'm not seeing any change. And something else that I should do while I'm thinking about it. Graphics. And I need to set visual settings, field of view. I need to set this up some. Okay, so let's try 73. All right, so I can get more of the field of view. And right now, my prop isn't working at all. So I am going to check the joystick binding, make sure that I can see what's going on. So that's working. I have no right throttle, so that's set to none. So let me just turn that off. Okay, then when I get there, so that should work. All right. And condition level is working. I didn't think it should shut off because I turned it back on before it should have had a chance to. All right, let's see if I can move it manually. And then, okay, I think it finally caught up. Let me take the brake off and taxi it a little bit with it. I may have the chocks on, no chocks. Okay, so there we go. All right, so maybe it's the other version that I need. Like I said, I got two versions, and the difference between the two versions are the way it treats beta. So let me try this version, and it should pick up the same data refs. So even though I got a different plane, it still should see the same PC data refs. All right, so okay, parking brake is set. All right, start this guy up again. 1001, 1002. And NG is coming up. 12 and a half. Introduce gas. Fuel. And we knew that it was gonna spike. There's not a lot I can do about that in the sim. Okay, got beta. Definitely got beta. And there's my beta light. So this is the version that does the beta. All right. So let me turn beta off. All right. And like I said, with the two versions, the difference is the way they treat beta. All right, so looks like we're good to go. And we've got that tied now. That ain't what I wanted. We've got the Bravo. Let's see, we've got this AFC PC-12 tied to it. And if we get the other PC-12, we can tie it to it. which would be the Carenado version, because it too does beta. It just don't use the beta light or the beta cast message. So I've got some other planes other than this PC-12 that needs to be have some idiosyncrasies ironed out once I get them installed. And I've got way too many to spend this much time per plane installing them. But I think you get the idea. I want to tie this one to the PC-12 and be done. And now I should have beta here. Let's just, it's nothing better than actually testing. So let's test 1001, 1002. Okay. And this guy counts up really quickly. All right, got a good start. And generators. 1, Gen 2, inertia separator, and avionics. Okay, so now let's taxi. So let's release our brake. And let's try beta. Let's just make sure that what we think is happening is in fact happening. Yep, so we got the beta prop. So maybe I was mistaken about whether or not this one supported beta. I could have sworn, well, I hate to use the word sworn. You know what? I think what this one works with is max beta. So let's say this one as the AFL PC-12 Carenado. And we'll save it that way. And we'll go here and we'll toggle max beta. Let's see, toggle beta prop 1, toggle beta prop, toggle thrust reversals. I think that might be what I'm thinking of. Let's try reverse here. Okay, yeah. Toggle thrust reverse number 1, okay? And let's see what happens now, guys. Okay, there's my beta. You heard it, the pitch, and I should start to back up. Yep. But I wish I got an indicator so when it went into beta, I could see it on the cast, but I don't. All right. And actually, I think for the other plane, not only did I want to go into beta, but I think I might want to toggle the reverse. And then the more throttle I apply, the more reverse it applies. So I can treat it as beta, even though technically it's in reverse. Anyway, we shall see, right? Or maybe I might even configure it differently at some point. But anyway, I am going to spend the rest of the evening continuing to install aircraft. I hope that you've got an idea of what it takes to install aircraft and to explain. Um, and it's the same procedure whether it's payware or freeware. So yeah. Until next time, guys.
Y'all come back now, dear.